About 25 years ago, I was in Delhi and I got talking to some people who had travelled all the way there overland from the UK. And I remember asking them what the country that they had thought most amazing was in their entire journey, and they all answered without hesitation, Iran. And ever since then, I've really wanted to go. I finally got my chance recently when Transindus invited me along on one of their tours as a photographer. I knew Persepolis was going to be really memorable, but I think for me, the real highlight has to be the city of Isfahan. It was created at the end of the 16th century by Shah Abbas the Great, the Safavid ruler. And then as now, its focal point is this enormous square surrounded by arcaded bazaars and some of the most astonishing and beautiful buildings in the entire Islamic world. Another of the great spectacles of Isfahan are the murals in the Chehel-Sotun. This was a palace where Shah Abbas used to receive dignitaries and foreign ambassadors and throw the most sumptuous parties by the looks of it. I really love some of the detail in these paintings. You can see how fine the clothes and the jewellery were, and the fact that these rulers really knew how to indulge themselves in their love of music, poetry, and they weren't at all the sort of austere religious figures that we might have imagined them to have been. Another standout experience for all of us on the tour, I think, was the city of Yazd in the southeast of Iran. It is a very ancient city with some spectacular mosques and the most exotic backdrop of desert mountains, which frame these beautiful turquoise minarets to great effect. I think the ruins of the ancient Persian capital, Persepolis, would top most people's tick list of must-see monuments in Iran, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. For me, I think the most compelling thing about the site are the beautiful bas-reliefs carved around the sides of the great platforms and the stairways leading to them. They look as if they could have been carved last year, not 2,500 years ago. You've also got the tomb complex of the Achaemenid kings at nearby Nakshi-Rostam, it's about a mile away, and the ruins of the first and original Achaemenid city at Pasargadae, where you can walk around the tomb of Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid dynasty. So the base for visiting Persepolis is the nearby city of Shiraz, which has a particularly wonderful market, covered market, dating back to Safavid times, so 400 or 500 years old. And I particularly like the carpet section there. In fact, I think it's fair to say that I found the markets in Iran every bit as compelling in their own way as the monuments, which is not something I was expecting. And as a photographer, they provided rich pickings. So we were there for about 2 weeks in total, and the Transindus team did an excellent job putting the trip together. The choice of hotels was really good, the vehicles were modern and very comfortable, and they managed to include quite a few interesting out-of-the-way places as well as the big sites. So one day we had lunch in this remote mountain village somewhere north of Isfahan. We also spent a couple of nights in the town of Kashan, which has a big collection of beautiful 18th century dome mansions and bathhouses and some very pretty formal gardens on the outskirts. So yeah, it was a fabulous trip. I really enjoyed it. It was great from the point of view of photography, not least because the people we met along the way were so warm and friendly, not just in the countryside, but also in the big cities, and that made a great difference to the day-to-day enjoyment of travelling there.